would like to welcome our speaker, Mr. Avik Chatterji. Avik is a manager at Cognizant Technologies. Avik would be delivering an interactive talk session on green AI, non-functional testing for sustainable and responsible AI systems. And to know more about Avik, you can check the below link. Thank you so much, Avik. It's on you now.
Thanks, Komal.
I will close this group.
Let me share my screen.
Sure.
Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to this 10th edition of ATA GTR. It's my second time I'm speaking. The last time it was during the 5th anniversary. So, yeah, we have been talking about AI lately, right? In the last 30 minutes, we have spoken a lot about AI, right? How we can use for AI in our testing, right? How we can embed it into our testing strategy. But there's one aspect that only few people speak about it. What is the impact, right? Uh, Embedding AI into our testing strategy, using AI everywhere, right? What's the impact on our global carbon footprint, right? And how we can test that, right? So my session will be focused on that aspect of the non-functional testing, where we speak about how we can test an AI system for sustainable and responsible AI system. Moving to the first slide. So yeah, we'll do a quick awareness check. Just, you can unmute yourself, or you know, you can just put it in the chat. So which non-functional aspect do you think contributes most to the AI sustainability? Can everyone ping in the chat or unmute themselves? Okay, I see scalability. Okay. Okay. I'll answer it quickly. No, it's not scalability, it is energy efficiency, right? This is the most contributing factor to AI sustainability. Okay. The next question is, what is the average carbon footprint of training a large AI model like GPT-3? Anyone? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the answer is D, 500,000 kg CO2. So this is equivalent to a petrol car driving to the moon from the Earth and back. So you can imagine how much carbon footprint it has, right? So why sustainability in AI matters, right? The first is AI adoption is growing rapidly, right? We know everyone knows about that. There is an environment impact that is often overlooked. And training, as we saw, that training large modules consumes significant energy. Inference at scales, every time you do a prompt, it consumes some amount of energy. Now think about, you know, everyone prompting at every second, what will be the carbon footprint? And there are ethical concerns as well, right? So the goal is to introduce an actionable testing strategy for sustainability. Moving to the next slide, I'll speak about what are the steps for sustainability improvements. Right. First is the energy efficiency testing, then it's the carbon footprint estimations. I'll speak about more of this in my next slides in more detail. Right. The next is model optimization, then it's sustainable cloud deployment, ethical and responsible AI testing, and defining the correct set of KPIs for sustainability, right, for our testing. Now, on the first topic, energy efficiency testing for AI workloads, right? Now, how we can detect or you know define how much energy is being consumed, right? When we train an AI model, right? Or we use an AI at scale, right? In production, right? So we have different tools that are available in the market, like Code Carbon, ML CO2 impact, Energy Wise, which we can integrate with our tools into the development lifecycle, into our CI/CD model, and see what is the real-time energy metrics, or what is the global footprint and different aspects of it, what is the memory consumptions, right? So we can identify how we can lower our operational cost or align with the green IT goals. Next is how to do the carbon footprint estimation in AI systems, right? Again, we can use the same set of tools, right, to understand what is the impact, right? How our hardware type or the cloud provider or the geography is contributing to the energy consumptions in our AI models, right? So we can create some dashboards to integrate it with our systems to have visible or visual uh, dashboard where any stakeholders can go and look into it and understand the impact. Next is model optimizations, right? There are different techniques for it, like quantization, right? So instead of using, like 8 integers, right, of accuracy, instead of using 32-bit of integers for accuracy, we can use 8 integers, right? Then there is pruning and knowledge distillation, right? We can use each of these techniques, right, to ensure that we use less amount of energy, right? So we train smaller and faster models, right? Instead of using a larger model of AI, right? But there's a catch over here, right? We need to do a trade-off between accuracy and energy, right? So we need to see whether we are more focused on accuracy or whether we are more focused on energy reduction. Next is on sustainable cloud deployments, right? Now, most of the industry or use different cloud deployments, right? Where the clouds are deployed across different geographies, right? Some of these data centers are using green data, renewable powered energy, whereas some uses like high energy data centers, right? So we need to be, very efficient as to what we need to use, right? Which cloud data centers we need to use, right? And use the same so that we use a eco-friendly, sustainable cloud for our deployments and reduce the environmental impact. Next is ethical and responsible AI testing, right? Sustainability also means, social sustainability, right? It's not only energy efficiency that we are talking about here, right? An AI that is biased or unexplainable will eventually be rejected by consumers, right? So we need to use tools, right? There are tools available like FairLearn, SHAP, and What If tools, which we can use and integrate into our testing strategy to reduce disparities or reduce ethical bias, right? So that we have a transparent and equitable AI systems, right? Uh, which aligns to the ethical standards of the industry, right? Now moving to the next one, sustainability KPIs in our test strategy. Now we cannot improve on what we means what we don't measure, right? So it is important that we have KPIs that we can measure, right? To track what is the energy consumption, right? And different uh, we need to clearly define it and integrate it with our testing strategies, right? What is the energy carbon footprint? What is the model sizing? What is the resource efficiency? What is the fairness score, etc.? These are the KPIs we need to define in our testing strategy and integrate it with our testing, uh, in our testing, right? And we can use different um, automated KPI tracking in CI/CD pipelines and integrate it with the dashboards for release level visibility. Next is why there's a industry trend for sustainability, NFT industry trend, right? Because there are a lot of triggers, right? Day in, day out, we are using a lot of AI models in our systems for testing, for deployments, etc., right? Uh, and there is an increased need of NFT for this so that we can reduce the carbon footprint, right? And increase our goal towards net zero. Now, the next slide speaks about NFT approach for sustainability testing. We need to, as I mentioned about the different aspects, what are the testing tools that we have? We need to integrate it to our testing strategy or testing framework, right? And set up these tools, right? There are multiple tools, as I already spoke about. Some of the other monitoring tools are like the AWS carbon footprint, GCP carbon sense, and emission impact dashboard for Azure, right? We can run a baseline test in the as-is environment, see what is the consumption, see where we can reduce these impacts, right? And optimize our systems accordingly, and then rerun a benchmark test to see does it align with the corporate standards, right? And so that we can lay out a foundation for a continuous green and improvements. So, Mhm. so the key takeaways are sustainability in AI includes ethical responsibility, fairness, and not just environment impact. We need to embed sustainability KPIs into our test strategy, use different tools that I spoke about, track the metrics in our testing. And what is the impact of that? It's like we build a trustworthy, inclusive, and eco-conscious AI systems, support the corporate social responsibility goals and compliance with green IT standards, and drive innovation that is both responsible and sustainable. Thank you. Any questions, anyone?
For now, no, Avik. I think we can continue.
I think, thank you. That was the end of my session.
Oh, I thought you had a couple of more slides.
No, I think, yeah.
Okay. So a couple of reference points that I would really want to know. When you're saying this carbon dioxide imprint, is there any reference that you're taking, or is it in comparison with something? Am I audible?
Avik, you are on mute.
Yeah. Sorry, you are audible. Sorry, I didn't get the point. Can you come again?
Yes, I think we saw a few figures in the beginning, right? How
Correct.
much carbon dioxide is it
Hmm.
emitting? So
Hmm.
did that have any reference?
A reference as in, where it is deployed, where your systems are deployed, what is the GPU, right? What is the compute energy for that hardware that is deployed in a specific geographic region. Based on that, it will calculate the carbon footprints accordingly.
Okay. And whatever you showed, was it only for non-functional testing, or it just covered everything?
Yeah, so sustainability is a aspect of non-functional testing. right? So
Okay.
yeah, the focus is more on this non-functional testing aspect, yeah, on
The reason I
sustainability.
ask is that number for just non-functional testing looked really, really, really high. So
Oh, sorry, which number?
I think you said 500,000.
Yeah, that is the energy consumptions for training a large AI model like GPT-3, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is just the training, right? As and when we do a prompt, right, it is computing something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important, because we can give any number of prompts, right? X number
Mm-hmm.
of prompts, but that doesn't help, right? It's always, if we do 100 prompts, it's adding up to the energy consumption, right? Because it's, how much hardware or how much GPU it's consuming, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we need to be very responsible while using it, right? Uh, do we really need to do 100x prompts, or we can convert it into 10, 15 prompts, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's very important.
Okay. Is there any tools or frameworks which are existing for like this energy aware testing?
Yeah, there are some tools, as I already mentioned, right?
Mm-hmm.
So within, like AWS has carbon footprint, then Google has carbon sense, then there is Azure has Azure emissions dashboard. So we can integrate it into our testing, right? When we are doing it, right? And from ethical perspective, there are tools like fairness, bias, which are Python libraries that we can integrate into our framework, right? For our testing when we are testing an AI model based on Python, right? Uh, Based on the geography, it will calculate the ethical standard or fairness um, scorecard it will create.
Okay. Okay. Because you have been, and I mean you have been doing this and you have a little more exposure on this. I just also want to understand for the rest of them who have not been a part of the green AI part of it. But I how do you balance your performance with these kind of sustainability goals?
Was it for me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So when we do, as I mentioned in my last slide, right, when we create a testing framework, right, we need to add these tools, right, where we can or create a dashboard, right? And when we are testing an end system, we integrate it into our testing framework, right? And
Mm,
run the test, right? Then we can know what is the global footprint and does it align to our net zero or whatever the standard of that particular company is, right? They might have, yeah, we need to be this much energy efficient or this much consumption is okay. We get the areas where it is consuming more, right? Do we based on that we can see whether we need to you know repurpose to a different cloud environment and deploy it into a more green geography
mm,
rather than in the current geography and rerun our test, right? So it's a sort of a baseline and benchmark test we need to run, right? But yeah, we can integrate it into our testing strategy because when we run our performance test, it is for the end users, right? Or how it will work in production, right? So we can integrate it into our performance test. Yeah, some we have done it for some of our companies, right, where we have run along with the performance test and given them, yeah, this is your energy consumption. These are the areas where you can focus, or it's taking more energy. You can check, or we have integrated with developers as to how we can reduce that global footprint or means carbon footprint. Sorry.
Carbon footprint is one of your metric,
Yeah.
but is there
Yeah.
any other metric which is embedded by your
Yeah, memory usage, right? Memory usage is one of them. What is the GPU score, right? Then I talked about the fairness scorecard, right? That is also important.
Okay. And all of these things, those tools will help us figure this out?
Yes.
Or do you use different tools for different things?
For fairness or fairness scorecard, we have that fairness bias, and then fair learn was there, then SHAP was there. But for um, uh, carbon footprint, memory usage, we have the ones that I said about from Google, AWS. We have embedded tools which we can use, leverage for our testing.
I see Rajesh video. Would you have any question, Rajesh?
Yeah, I do. So typically, when you talk about the energy consumption for, let's say, GPT-3, you mentioned
Mhm.
it's huge. But then normally what happens is these trainings, I mean, the pre-training is a one-time activity every 1 or 2 years. I mean, if you
That's right.
look, yeah. So that is the only time when the energy consumption is huge, right? And after
No,
that, the
no.
inference, yeah, the inference model will be the other, I think, 60 to 70% of the energy consumption goes into the inference models, which is based upon our prompts and all, right?
Mm.
So in that regard, I mean, how much of energy consumption goes into it? Uh, Given that the initial training is a huge energy consumption,
Mhm.
but after that the inference models may have slightly lesser energy
Yeah.
consumption.
Right. Obviously, it will be slightly less, but it depends on the usage, right? So, as I said, every prompt makes an impact or has a footprint, right? Because it will be consuming some GPU, some memory usage, everything, right? So that's what we do as part of our testing, right? When we run performance testing, it is putting load on the AI models, right? So we can take out those metrics, right? Those KPI metrics. We set it up with the tools and see what is the impact. Based on that, we discuss with the dev team or the stakeholders, right? How we can reduce it, right? Where the footprint is becoming more, right? And they can suggest on, yeah, we see the footprint is because of we deployed in the wrong region, right? We can try moving it to a more greener region. Yeah, they change that, make those changes. Like uh, when we find a performance issue, right? They tweak few of the things and we rerun the test, right? And then we run a benchmark test, right? So yeah, that's what the approach should look like.
Okay, I have
There's a
one more
lot to
question.
explore. Yeah, there's a lot to explore, but yeah, this session is mostly to make everyone aware so then they can see how they can integrate it into their testing strategy.
Yeah, this actually is a different thought process altogether, because I mean,
Yeah.
I had this notion when it came to the cryptocurrency and those technologies, because that also has huge power consumption, right? So, but I never thought about this in ML and AI. So just wanted to know, like, I mean, this is one aspect which never gets discussed within organizations as well, especially
Right,
those who
but
are trying to go, AI. But my
some
question,
of the companies or some of the governments are targeting towards net zero, right? And sustainability testing has become a priority. At least I see that in UK, right? Most of the customers are looking for a sustainable environment, right? We are doing different ways on how to reduce it, right? Moving from a licensed tool to a open source tool is a sort of sustainable testing, right? Reducing our number of load generators is a sort of sustainability, moving to a sustainability, right? Similarly, this is another aspect of sustainability.
okay, I mean, I wanted to ask what was the motivation behind bringing this aspect into
Mm,
AI,
mm, mm.
but I think I got the answer. Is it just government regulation, or was there any
Not government, it's
specific
the
instance?
industry. Industry is focusing on net zero, right?
Okay, okay,
So yeah,
okay,
everyone is trying to move towards a net zero goal, right? So that's the trend we
okay.
have seen for our customers in UK.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Avik. It
Yeah.
was really
Thanks,
insightful.
Rajesh.
Thanks.
Thanks, Rajesh. Avik, we have another question. In which kind of, I think you answered a bit of it, but still in which kind of project it is implemented or good to have it implemented, if you can give any examples.
Uh, Project, as in, as I said, right, it depends on the customer, right? Most of the UK customers we have seen, right, especially energy and utilities, insurance customer or banking customers, they have some net zero goals defined for 2030, right? And this is one aspect of it, and why they are doing sustainability testing, right? Because they want the metrics in hand and see how they can improve on their energy consumptions, right, and move towards the net zero goals, right. It's not limited to any project, right, but yeah, we can speak to our stakeholders and see what is their viewpoint on that. Are they really focused on net zero goals, right? Are they using AI a lot? All right. I think most of the industry customers are using AI now, moving towards AI, right? So this is one aspect of it which we need to bring to them, right, or bring to their plate so that they can think, try to do a test for it.
Okay. There's one last question. If this carbon footprint is only about lowering energy consumption, or can waste creation also be reduced by testing? Is that what you mean, Deepti? Am I phrasing it right?
Yes, you read it correctly. Yeah, but I think bit of the content from the last question, which Vik has covered. Uh, it has covered this also. Not only the lowering energy consumption is a main aspect of this sustainability, but there are a few more. But yeah, I was asking from the point of view the like the waste creation, what we are creating, like when we are developing any product, so a lot of waste is also getting created. Is it any relation between these two, or it is a different
Uh,
aspect?
uh, I unfortunately have not covered the waste creation part a lot, right? But yeah, that can be factored into this, right? Because it's again about sustainability, right? How we can reduce the waste, not only energy perspective, but waste perspective as well, right? And also I spoke about ethical and responsible AI, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, that is something we can look into it, right? But unfortunately, I have not covered it in my approach or slide. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I got it. Thank you, Avi.
Thank you.
Thanks, Deepti.
Thanks, Avik. I think you've been really patient through so many questions.
Dipti, can I
Yeah,
ask
Rajesh.
one last question, please?
Yes,
Sure.
Rajesh, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Especially, so when we talk about net zero, typically, now these are the goals that typically the AI providers would have, right? Like the Googles or the Microsofts or those which who provide these models. I mean, as consumers of AI, I mean,
Uh,
how do we contribute to this net zero?
See, it's yeah, that's you are right, right? But we don't directly always use those AI models directly, right? We customize those AI models, right? Custom We use the customized models a lot, right? So what is the impact of it, right? Like for example, from performance testing perspective, right? Uh, we say that we don't need testing for a SaaS software, right? But when the SaaS software is integrated to our systems, right, we really need to test it, right? What is the impact of that integration, right? We need to test it. Or if we have any customization, right, say for an SAP product, it's though it's a SaaS model, right? It is customized at the end users, but from the end user perspective, right? So what is the impact of that? So typically, yeah, though uh, we they are responsible for it, the end providers, but still we typically need to test it, right, and see that we are using the right set of uh, uh, you know environment, right, where it is deployed, right. Is my cloud deployed in the correct location where they are using more energy, green energy resources, or in an energy where it is, they are using coal energy for consumptions, right? Or that is some aspects that we need to test it, right? So yeah. So we definitely need to test it, all right? Though it's sort of providers, you know, uh, big providers like Google or Copilot or anything like that.
Thanks, Avik. Komal, can we formally please thank him?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Avik, for the wonderful session.